This is the unabridged audio narration of The Sea Witch, Volume 1, Meeting the Young Master. Written and illustrated by Cara aka Lady Flame. Published online from 26th of August 2018 on Web Novel and Tapas. This is a tale of intrigue set in a fantasy world, with a romance subplot. A slow burn one, I'm afraid. I'm very fond of Ust. You will find swearing, fighting, and eventually some kissing and naughty stuff will happen, but nothing that is likely to bother an older teen. They've probably seen worse on TV anyway. Hopefully this story is something for everyone, and is aimed at both a male and female audience. However, as mentioned before, it is not really suitable for anyone under 16. Cover illustration: Lavender Jade on the deck of the Sea Witch at dusk. Chapter illustration: Leonora L'Oreal outside her cabin on the Sea Witch. Chapter 3: Lush Women and Bittersweet Memories. When she arrived at Leonora's cabin, N struggled to juggle the tray to free a hand to knock, and ended up precariously balancing one side of the tray with her knee as she quickly tapped at the door. There was predictably no answer, nor any sign of movement, so Lavender went through the process of juggling the tray once more and knocked on the cabin door again. This time the tray teetered, and N had to quickly grab it to stop her breakfast from ending up on the floor. Thankfully, although the apples had rolled off the plate, the tin mugs had fallen over, and the wooden bowls of porridge had slid to one side. They had all been stopped from falling by the raised edge of the tray, and the pot of coffee, although it had tipped, had hit the wall and remained mostly upright. Lavender carefully righted the tray, so the pot of coffee stood upright once more, only splashing a drop of liquid from the spout in the process, and angled the tray so that the mugs and the apples rolled to the opposite side to the bowls of porridge. Unfortunately, it was still heavier on one side than the other, and the resulting imbalance meant that she really needed to put the damn thing down before she really did end up dropping it. Leonora was probably going to kill her, but N was running out of options, so she took a step backwards and gently kicked the bottom of the door twice. N had no desire to damage her foot or to break the door down, but the kicks were enough to rattle the door in its frame and produce two loud bangs. Luckily, Leonora was the only person occupying the officers' quarters at the moment. She had one of the two larger cabins, the other belonging to the captain, who was currently on the quarterdeck, and the two smaller cabins were her own and that belonging to Tomo as the first mate. The only other person on this deck was Blakestaff in the main cabin at the end of the corridor, and N didn't really care if she did wake him up, since she was due to give him the morning report at 8 bells anyway. Not that he would bother to look into the corridor even if he did. After only hearing some faint sounds of movement, even after kicking the door, Lavender sighed. Knowing Leonora, she had probably just put her pillow over her head. "Auntie, it's N! I know it's early, but it's really important." More sounds of movement, but still no one came to the door. It was time to pull out the big guns. "I've got a big pot of coffee here and breakfast too, so open the fricking door before I damn well drop everything on your doorstep." N took a quick step backward when she heard the sound of bare feet, just in time, as the door was pulled open violently and Leonora stood glaring darkly at N. Leonora folded her arms underneath her breasts and leaned one shoulder against the door. Do you know what time it is? Leonora bit the words out, slowly and with much force. But this wasn't something that Lavender hadn't seen before 100 times, and would likely see 100 times more. So she just grinned widely. Good morning, Auntie. To answer your question, the ship's bell just rang 7. Leonora sighed and rolled her eyes. The days when she had been able to intimidate N were long gone. So she stepped back and let Lavender enter the room with her tray of breakfast. Come in quickly. I have no desire for Blake staff to see me in my negligee. N put the tray down on Leonora's dressing table, grabbed a bowl of the porridge, and sat on the chest that was at the bottom of the bed. Is that what that frilly thing's called? You do know that it's almost see-through, right? I've got a shirt that's been washed so much that it's gone like that too. Leonora rolled her eyes. It's supposed to be like that, N. It's a little thing called sexy. She gave N's normal clothes a pointed once over. Something that seems to have passed you by somewhere on your way to adulthood. See-through I could pull off, but frilly ain't my thing. Anne watched Leonora pour herself a mug of the coffee, blow on it to cool it, and then take several large gulps. And then she refilled the mug and took it with her clothes behind the screen, which was on the other side of the bed. The sound of Leonora washing and dressing became background noise as Anne stared at the bottom of her bowl. The porridge had quickly disappeared inside her belly, whilst Anne had eaten automatically, lost in her thoughts. End of Chapter 3, Part 1. Thank you for listening, and you can check out the rest of the novel on tapas.io and webnovel.com, where it's being currently serialised. Bye bye, until next time.